to All Things Conversational.
Howdy.
How you doing today?
I can't complain right now.
The word you should have used is optimistic.
Optimistic. Yeah, cautiously optimistic. Let's go with
Cautiously
that.
optimistic.
I think that's the exact way I'm approaching every time you and I sit in these chairs now.
Yep. But I think if we actually announce at the beginning, microphones on, speakers off, I think we're half the battle there.
Yeah. It's no secret we've had our fair share of issues and ripping out hair and yeah.
Did you even notice I shaved? Jeez, come
No,
on.
you're always so well groomed.
Oh yeah, I'm well groomed. That's me.
Yeah.
Me. Yep, I got you. Yep. That's why I wear hats.
Yeah, I think this is actually going well
Good.
for the first time.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right today.
I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is
Oh
a
boy.
more fun side of running a business.
Is this going to be an optimistic one?
No, but it's definitely something that I like to play around with.
Uh-oh.
And I think when things go well with this,
Yeah.
you can be a happy camper.
Oh.
And when things are going poorly with this,
I'm going to be an unhappy camper?
you're going to be an unhappy camper.
Okay.
Any guesses?
I haven't got the foggiest idea what this subject is today.
Tech.
Oh, yes. Well, we've lived the bad side of tech for the last month.
Well, the thought of this came up because it's such a big part of what we do. You're not brick and mortar based for the most part, right? No. So you live and die by your tech.
Yep.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. Yep.
And people are so particular about this stuff. And some things can make your life great, right? And then you encounter things that are easy at face value and end up being the bane of your existence for 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like trying to start a podcast.
Yep. And throwing video in there too, which
just, throwing video in there and trying to set all this stuff up. But how do you think tech is changing the way you guys operate your business? So like at both your brokerage level, right?
Okay.
And then day to day as a realtor.
It's easier to talk about at the real estate level than it is at the brokerage level. Because I'll be honest, tech at the brokerage level is extremely challenging. I'm not gonna lie, because you're trying to implement something for, in our case, 100 people to use, and you've got to have something that's rudimentary enough that even the most technologically challenged person can survive with it.
Or somebody who's very tech adverse.
Yeah.
Right?
Or hate. Yes.
You have those agents in your office.
100%, right? That just don't like it and don't want to use it. I mean, we still have an agent that doesn't have a Facebook account.
Right.
Okay. Which, just, it goes to the clarity of, sometimes you have to be cognizant of those things.
Yeah. Even though we live in the
technological era, right? So one of the challenges that I found was that finding something that would work for everybody. And that's a huge one, because I'm up here on my tech adaptation and I've got agents that are down here.
When you look for something, you're like, what are you rolling out to them that they need to all be able to use?
DocuSign.
Okay.
I can't tell you how hard that was.
Okay.
You would think that a tool that would make everybody's life easier. I mean, the way we utilize it is, and we're just scratching the surface on it, but the way that tool can be utilized by enhancing it is so good.
It's pretty robust, eh?
It's very robust for a DocuSigning, like for a document signature app. It's fantastic. It's got the best app. It's got the writability. It's got everything.
Like mobile app?
Oh yeah, the best cell phone app going.
So
we have a number of options that we can use. Authentisign, we have one built into our platform, and DocuSign, DocuSign pulls them. There's nobody even close.
Gotcha. I know Adobe put out something like that.
Yeah, but Adobe's expensive. And
I found out
if you're on
to Adobe memberships.
Ooh.
That I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
And therein lies the other problem, is the cost.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So when you're rolling it out to a brokerage, you're usually getting into enterprise packages, and it gets expensive. So you got to be selective with what you do. Now, as an agent, try everything. I'll try everything. I have got so many subscriptions
Mm-hmm.
that I nickel and dime myself to death every day. There's a bill. Apple charge you for this, or Apple charge
Right.
you for that.
Spotify this,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
podcast
like
that.
my mentor one time told me, "Hey, go through your account one day and see how much you're spending every month on streaming and technological." I was spending like $500 a month.
Holy Hannah.
Oh, it was
Okay, but is that
ridiculous.
just between the two businesses or just also counting for personal?
Some of it was personal. Some of it's, like, so some of it kind of rolls over from one to the
Sure.
other. It's kind of
I
hard
guess like
not
your
to.
worlds do.
Yeah. And, but no, it was things like, I would sign up for a video editing,
And then forget
use it
about
for a
it.
month and then forget about it and then go in and cancel it.
Mm-hmm.
Or GoDaddy gets me all the time because I create landing pages and
Oh, or
stuff,
domains.
domains, and I forget about them and I don't utilize them and I'm paying for them. Just,
That's a big one for me. I have a couple domains that I've scooped up that I've wanted,
yeah.
and then maybe you forget. I got
Yeah. And then you
two
just
other
sit there.
domains that I'm not even using, but
So I automatically now, when I buy a domain, if something kind of triggers me, it's like, hey, that's a great domain.
yeah,
I just buy it and I just forward it to my existing website so that the more it gets used, the more it's out there. And then I know it's there and it's at least being used for something.
that's a good idea.
So
I have mine
it's,
sitting dormant.
oh no, point it. Right. And then when you
Mm,
get around to it, at least it's being tagged to something. It doesn't matter what
yeah,
what you're using it
that's a
for,
good idea, actually.
but I think I got 22 domains. Right? Like Steve sells this, Steve sells that, Steve sells Global Banker this, Global
Right.
Banker. Oh, it's absurd. But my page, if you can see it, like of stuff on GoDaddy
Yeah.
is like this. Websites that I buy, like when I did a builder package, I had a whole website built for them through GoDaddy. I built the website, they hosted it, they
Do it
did all of
yourself.
it
You
for
build
me.
it.
Did it myself. It was clicking, it was so easy. But we sold the whole project and I forgot to take the website down. So I paid $29 a month for about a year and a half
Nice.
on a project that I really, should have taken down.
Right.
I have charity websites like for our Homes for Dogs program. Like I could just got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think technology is one of the things with tech is, and I teach this to the staff, is it's got to be part of your business. And I think I said this to you once before. It
Okay.
can't be your business. And I see a lot of agents that take their entire world of trying to sell real estate.
Mhm.
And I think mortgage agents do the same thing. I follow a lady from Toronto, and she's got a team, but all she does is Instagram. Like I don't know where she finds the time, and
Yep.
her Instagram posts are incredible.
Like edited.
Productions,
Right.
edited, and I think to myself, how do you sell mortgages?
Right. How do you have
Where do you
time for it?
find the time to do it? Because I know we have to carve time out to do this out of our
Yep.
schedules. I can't imagine how, going in and doing some of these shoots that people do for listings and lead generation, and it's all great material.
Yeah.
It's just
It takes
time.
time. Well, I don't think they're doing one. I think they're batching it, meaning they're shooting a few things together one day.
Yeah, I agree.
And then two is I think they're putting it off their plate. Somebody else is doing the editing. Somebody else is doing a lot of
Oh
the
yeah,
posting, and I think they're
offloading.
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
delegating.
delegating. Oh, don't use that word.
Yeah. So I'm with it. Like the social media side. That's a huge part of the tech that you guys definitely have to be on. But
Yeah.
yeah, some of the older agents that you're belly to belly, you might not need it.
Listen, I have a few agents, and I will tell you right now, the most successful agents don't do a ton of social media.
Yeah, I
At some point, your business is your business.
I also think that piece of data right there is skewed
What do you mean?
in the sense that generally agents that are doing the best have for the most part been in the business longer.
Yes.
And so I think that is it a factor of them doing so good because it's belly to belly, or is it a factor of them doing so good because it's been 20 years?
I think it's a combination of that. I also think that for the most part, those agents are full time.
Yeah.
Have seen good, bad, and ugly markets.
Yeah.
Um,
They're good agents is what you're
they're
really saying.
good agents,
Okay.
right? They're in it for the most part for the right reason. They treat their clients like gold,
Yep.
which I think is something that just It is very difficult. Oh, somebody gets to put $1 out in the jar. For the most part, they're really, really good agents, and they just get it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not a slight against a new agents, because a lot of new agents just get it, but they get tunnel vision, right? They really think that the social media is the end all be all of their business, and it's not. It's supposed to be a compliment
Agreed.
or to make your life easier.
Sure. I
Right.
think just from a leverage standpoint,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like if you could make the argument that if you took whoever you're saying here, this top agent doesn't do any social media,
Yep.
they're great at what they do, strictly belly to belly, could their business double?
Oh, I literally had this conversation upstairs this morning. Literally had it, talking to somebody about this, and if that person were to implement
Anything?
no, an assistant to allow them to do the stuff that we're talking about, the technology stuff, and just hand it over and say, run with it. That agent, that agent is so good they could double their income, but are so adverse to change that it will never happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess, you have to kind of look at it and say, okay, how much is
Yeah.
enough?
Is it worth it for you even?
That's it, right? Like you
That's
get to the
fair.
point where you're making, the difference between 100,000 and 250,000 is huge. The difference between 500 and 750,000, I could argue is, negligible, because you're probably not going to spend it all.
Fair.
Right?
Okay. So what are some things that you are using that you're loving lately?
This.
Okay, granted, we got all of our tech set up here. We kept this pretty streamlined.
Yep. Yeah, we kept it pretty
We're running
straightforward.
this on Riverside FM.
Yep. Which is fantastic. It's been
Yep.
great. We Canva is a standby for me. It is.
Yeah, you did say that.
Now as I'm getting more into Canva's integration of AI.
There it is.
Is really, you wanted to go down the AI conversation.
Well, I was curious. It wasn't the be all end all of this conversation,
No,
but it's a big part of it only because, elephant in the room, right? Like it's everywhere, and it can
but
make your
okay,
life
so
properly. Pretty sweet.
so somebody messaged me yesterday on the way home, and they said, basically, I'm sick of reading AI chat GPT emails. It doesn't take long to write an email. And I'm like, I agree. But then I started to think about it. But how much faster is it? If I can get something off my desk and you're still getting the message, whether I write it or ChatGPT writes it from 5 bullet
Can
points.
somebody really tell it's ChatGPT written?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. And it's more with people that you know, right? So somebody that goes and reads something that I've written.
But here, I email differently than how I speak.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
And I think that's
That may be it.
I think
That's hell.
that's a relic of
Yeah.
the industry I used to be in.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
The formality of it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
The formality
it's,
doesn't come through.
I don't speak formally.
No.
You know me, I'm pretty casual. My emails are, and I have to actively. In fact, I would probably benefit from punching them into ChatGPT and saying, "Can you make this sound less formal?"
But they do have this little function in there that says more casual, more casual.
Yeah, like I need to
and
click
just
that
train
2-3 times.
Yeah.
Because the industry I come from is the as per our conversation, let's circle back,
Which is the world I should be
right.
in.
And
I refuse to go.
when I write these emails, it like I don't think about writing them, right? This is how they come out. When I write an email and my fingers start typing, they come out formal. And I sit there and I go, oh, I'm speaking corporate again.
Do you have a way that you prefer to write? Do you prefer to write formal, or like I like to write like the way I talk?
So I think that good writing, I like when I read writing, I like it when it comes off authentic.
Okay.
When it has the writer's voice.
Right.
The background I have is scientific writing and corporate. And so it's very matter of fact.
Oh, yes, cut and dry, black and white.
Cut and dry, black and white. And so I don't have the skill.
It's a learned skill.
It's a very, very learned skill. And to me, the way I've always written is you write facts. It's
boom,
like you said, black and white.
Yep.
And I think that now that we're talking about this, I'm going to try it out of popping one of my stinky formal emails
Yep.
into Chat GPT saying, can you make this sound like a regular human?
It's funny because I couldn't write a formal letter. I rewrite them like 9 times. And this is where chat has helped me a little bit when I get into issues where I have to write letters to lawyers or something like that. I will write the basis of
Yeah,
it
and you'll
as
say,
if it was me, and then formalize this for
right.
me. It's funny because I wrote a book, not a book, but a guide for new realtors during COVID, and I tweak it every once in a while. But I give it to every new hire that we hire, and I say to them, "You're going to hear my voice as you're reading this because I write
That's the goal, though.
exactly." Is it though?
I think so.
See, I think if you're writing fiction, that would be the case. I always struggle with it, and
If you're writing fiction,
yeah, you want it to come across that way. But I don't write fiction. Like I'm writing
nonfiction. Yeah. You're
nonfiction,
writing
right?
facts.
So I'm writing facts. My facts always have stories, right? Like I can't and I do the same thing when I'm training. A lot of trainers get up there and they're very,
Mhm.
this is the way you've got to do it. I get up there and I'm like telling stories about what's happened to me and interjecting my personality into it, which is what I do with my writing. Like you were making fun in one of the sessions we did before about dot dot dot. Dot 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 are three of my favorite things in writing because it leads to the next point in my head. And I think when I'm writing that somebody's
Oh, I remember when I was making fun of dot dot dot. It was about Sue.
Sue, yeah, right. We both do it. Her and I both do it. But that's our generation,
Mhm.
right? Like that's just the way we are. But ChatGPT has really helped in that respect. But if you really want to tell where ChatGPT is, go and look at 3 years ago a realtor. What they wrote about a listing, and the way they're written today. And miraculously, the verbiage is so flowery and
Got you.
so look at this
Extravagant
beautiful,
this
yeah,
room,
words
or
that this
yes,
person, if you know that person, is never using.
right.
They're never saying, "Hey, look at the eloquent entrance through the foyer of this
Right.
house," and you're like, "It's a front hallway."
Yeah,
Right? Like, come on, get over it.
that's six
But that's
steps.
the kind of that's the kind of stuff that we see. I use it, chat, particularly for taking point form
Mhm.
notes and saying, "Turn this into something more formal." That it's chat is fantastic.
Well, it's also really good for this, like what we've been running off of, and
Yeah,
also why we've laughed about this. People go, "What are you guys going to talk about today?"
we don't know.
We don't really plan it too much, but part of that is, well, it's two reasons. One, the two of us can ramble forever. Um, but reason two is we have a document here, and it's got, oh man,
It's got to be 50 subjects,
if yeah, and these are
if not
just like
more.
one-liner jump-off points. Some of them are, a little multi-tiered type of question and
Sure.
answer thing, but they're fantastic. And
Yeah.
instead of sitting here for over whatever, an hour being like, what are some things we can cover?
Yep.
This took you
About 30
30
seconds.
seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you think of these? And I said, holy Hannah,
Yeah.
these are all very good, or at least they're a good jump off point.
Yeah, they're great launch points. And the funny thing is I did that in my chat. I bet if you put the same thing into your chat, you get different answers because I've used chat quite a bit over
Yeah.
the last couple of years, and so it's starting to learn my
Yeah. Did you
my
get
a little bit.
the,
I haven't paid for it yet.
okay, because I think you were saying you're
I'm going to.
considering it.
Oh, I'm going to buy it for sure. But they chat just released their newest one, but they just pulled it back. There was some
Oh, really?
problem. Yeah, there was some behavioral problems that they didn't, believe it or not. Some
It's kind of
behavioral
bizarre to
problems
think
in the
about.
chat that they just pulled it back. So, I'm going to, but I'm going to go through the exercise after this segment. Now that we're talking about this, and say, okay, what do I really need and what don't I need anymore?
Yeah.
And I'm going to clean up my tech because I've got tech. Like software applications, all sorts of
I think
things
the
that
other
I just don't
big
need.
thing that is really integral to you is your ecosystem, your Apple Mac ecosystem,
Yeah, it's
or as I
great in
call it, your
some
bushel.
aspects. Yeah, my bushel. It works for me.
Mhm.
It doesn't work for everybody. I know a lot of people love Google, and Google does a very similar thing. It's just not the hardware doesn't match.
Mhm.
I like the fact that the hardware and the software matches, so my ecosystem is very
But
much
I think it helps you do your job. It helps you
function
function, right?
100%, 100%.
Is there another piece that you think you couldn't live without?
equipment wise,
I can, yeah,
ooh, or software.
it could be either one.
Equipment wise, I'll tell you what.
Because really,
I
your Apple ecosystem is your watch, your phone, your tablet, your
my
Mac,
computers
your
and
desktop
my
Mac.
yeah. So I have five. So I bounce around from, and yeah,
But like, I'll see you when you're doing a presentation. You'll have your Mac, you'll have your iPad, and your phone, and you're kind of running on all three.
I'm doing it right now, right? Like I've got
Yeah,
my MacBook, another
and then
MacBook,
here
and my
comes the phone
iPhone.
call on the watch.
Right. Like if I need it. For me, it's not it's sometimes it's about convenience,
Okay.
right? So tech for me has to be convenient. If it's not convenient, I don't want anything to do with it. So I have a great Yeti mic upstairs. It's a pain in the butt. The stands, I don't like the stand on it. I love the
Mhm,
microphone. It's great for certain
mhm.
applications, but it'll
Not
never
these
see it down here.
applications.
Not these applications. We found that
Yeah.
out. But it's not something I can take with me. It's not very convenient. So
Oh,
it's
I
really
got you.
something that I can only use in my office upstairs. Whereas the lapel mics that we
Hmm.
bought, which are great, you can take anywhere you want. It's easy to
Small
use.
container.
Small container, put it in my pocket, off I
Yeah.
go. I can literally pack and we're gonna test this theory in a couple of months when we get on the plane of running my business from my computer and everything about my business. So I won't be taking my iPad. I won't
You're
be
bringing
taking.
one
I'm taking one device. I'm taking this thing
in your
with me
phone.
and my phone.
Yeah,
But the
that
phone
to me
is
doesn't count.
yeah, that's not part of it. But I have set everything up for my real estate business and my brokerage
Hmm.
that I can access everything through here. Every single piece. One of the first things I did when I bought our brokerage was we had a server, and the server was backed up for redundancy and yada yada yada. It crashed. We could not get parts. I had to buy
Oh,
a new server, and it cost just 7 years ago, just shy of $11,000.
whoa.
Yeah, to die 2 years later.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and thousands of dollars. Like this server issue was a $25,000 challenge, and that was when I started sourcing our new ecosystem at the brokerage level. And now I don't have a single thing that's not in the cloud. Everything in our brokerage, every single software that we
Mhm.
use is cloud based, and that's so that I can expand, I can grow, and I
Right.
don't have to be in
You
a
think that's what's
place.
allowed you to kind of get some of these acquisitions going? Or
Yeah,
do you think it's just
actually,
made it easier to implement the acquisition?
I think it's a little bit twofold, knowing that you can do it
Hmm.
through the cloud and not have to have bricks and mortar.
Right. You don't need a whole
Uh,
tech team,
you don't need a
or at
whole
least it's
tech team,
outsourced, I guess, at that point.
but even then, I don't, because all the software we have has in-house support, right? So everything, even from our cloud storage, is operated by one of our providers. So our cloud storage is redundant. Right.
Hmm.
They create the redundancies for us. I don't have to create the redundancies. I do have a backup that once a year I go in and back it up because I know that they back up their system every 12 minutes. So I don't have to worry about that
Wow.
stuff.
Okay.
But for me, technology's got to be convenient. If it's not convenient, and if I can't get it on here to here to here, it's useless to me. And Google, I love Google and hate Google all at the same time.
Yeah, you've said that
It does
before.
not work for me. I don't like the permissions that are on it and the challenges that go with it. Some of the stuff's great, but almost everything I can do in Google, I can do on an Apple.
Yeah, definitely. I know a big point of contention for Sue is always that I do not run anything Apple.
I don't know if it's a point of contention. I think it's
He
more,
likes,
it's a comedy thing for us now, right?
yeah,
Like
because you guys are so,
we're so
well, what I
integrated
always tell
into it.
her is the parts that she loves are the parts that, I guess they're the parts that she finds easy about that ecosystem. And I go, I don't find that to be difficult to do on, the
Yeah.
other side of it.
So I think the funny part about it is I think it comes down to it's like learning a language,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your ecosystem is built around Microsoft
Mm-hmm.
for all intents and
Yep.
purposes, and Google. Ours is built around Apple
Yeah.
and Safari and those things.
Yeah.
And once you learn a language, it's hard to unlearn it.
Yeah, it's just convenient for you.
Right? I don't need to go out and learn another language to do what I'm doing already.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there's no advantage to me today to go and learn French.
Mm,
Although it's great,
sure.
to go to Montreal, whatever the case, I don't need to. I can do what I need to do in English. It's the same principle.
So other than hardware, what's another piece of tech? Like, do you use anything else? Like, do you guys have like a brokerage, like Slack channel or a WhatsApp or anything like that that you guys use?
Um, no, because a lot of that stuff is independent on the agents, right? So anything that's generated that way is typically done at the agent level. We have our own ecosystem for our CRM and our websites and all that stuff. That's all in
You
one
guys all use the
platform.
same one for the most part?
For the most part, it's offered by the brokerage. Not everybody
Got you.
uses it. I still have agents that use sticky notes. Like, believe it or not.
You know what? Don't knock it. I had a sticky note
Listen,
on
I
my
saw
phone.
your sticky note on your computer. I kind of cringed, but at the same time, it, you know, uh, there's a kind of a joke out there amongst real estate brokers. The CRM is only good if you log in.
Yeah.
Whatever you're
Agreed.
using
Uh-huh.
works, right? So if for you it's sticky notes, or you it's a Google sheet, or
Yep.
me it's an Excel sheet, I don't really
Agreed.
care as long as you're using it every day,
Yeah.
right? I think that's where a lot of this stuff falls down. We see the bright shiny thing,
Oh man, and
and then we
that's
use it for 2 weeks, or we get, like, we were looking at, was it, Notion? Is that the
mhm.
one we were trying? I looked at that for about 3 days and thought, the
It's
hell with this. It's
complex.
too complicated for what I
Yeah,
wanted to
and
do.
I even so when that started, that's actually a really good one. I don't know if it was you who suggested or me.
No, I think you suggested it, and I went and tried it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
Uh,
there's this app that like I've seen people use. I've used it for a few things, and I was only using it on like a one or two things.
yeah,
And then when you started a new Notion,
page or
whatever it's called, it
yeah,
gave us all these different like pre-made pages we could tweak to organize this podcast and organize our life. But holy Hannah, is it robust? It is, and again, I don't consider myself like I can learn tech decently quickly, and I know you can too.
yeah,
And I had the same thought where I was like, dude, this is a lot.
yeah. That we did in a Google sheet.
Yeah, like we actually haven't even needed to do that because we've,
Yeah, we will at some point need
agreed.
to make that a little bit more robust, but I just don't
There was
know
nitty
whether or
gritty.
not.
There was a lot of like
Oh
fine
yeah.
detail planning that I was like, whoa,
So there used to be a great app that I loved, and I don't even know if it's still around anymore. Evadir, I think it was what it was called.
Evernote,
Evernote.
the elephant or
I,
like the green.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That was probably
The
the best
best.
organizational one that I ever
Yeah,
used, and it was free.
it's
It
not anymore.
wasn't, not anymore.
No,
It's paid, and it was been bought by somebody else, so you can't even. It's not even the same thing
it
anymore.
was awesome. I agree with you.
I loved that. That to me was the greatest one. I put my team on it. We could all get notes and share and
Oh,
post stuff. Oh yeah, so you could, integrate. I could drop something in there. Hey, Steve, take a look at this. Greg, hey,
mhm.
this is what's been done. It was a great team platform, but then it got expensive. And
Yeah,
it was $100 a
it
month
was
or
something
something like
weird. I
that.
remember this happened like
And
a year or two ago, or maybe
I just
longer.
said no more. Like,
You brought up your guys' CRM.
yeah,
So is that mostly like an email platform, or is it keep track of your clients?
it's everything. So it's built to include database
Mhm.
of clients. Um, the important information. It's file storage,
Oh,
so they
that's
can put
handy.
all their contracts in there, or all their marketing pieces that they've sent out. It has a full drip campaign system in there, which is amazing,
Mhm.
because you can set it and forget it, and you can program it for a year in advance. So if you're doing certain things that are going to be holiday
Sure,
campaigns, we all
you can
get those
plan them.
holiday campaigns. You can plan them in an afternoon, set it and forget it. Now you've just had 12 marketing touches, right? Or 13, or
Sure,
whatever you program it for. So it's that. It's also a communication tool. You can email directly from there if you want to keep all your communication in one place. I don't think that's practical, because I'm not logging into my
just
CRM
send
to
an
send an
email.
email from my
Yeah,
phone in the middle of nowhere. But it's a good method to do it. It has lead generation built into it, and it feeds from our
oh,
websites.
it's pretty
So
cool.
it has a lot of tools, social media integrations, and things like that a lot of CRMs have. But ours is all in one spot, and for $25 a month, that's all ours is.
Wow,
Yeah, the CRM website, everything is $25 a month, and the website's fully editable. You can add pages, take off pages. You can put a blog in.
it's
You
super
can
cheap.
put it, yeah, super cheap. You can't. But again, remember I said about enterprise
Oh, you guys cover a
before.
good
I
chunk of
I
that.
we no we get, because we bought so many. We buy so many subscriptions. When it's 75 to 100 agents, it's X amount of
So
dollars.
your agents don't even pay for that?
Yeah, they pay
Oh,
for it.
okay.
It's a flow through for us. But because of the size, I can negotiate better
I
prices
got you.
than if they were to go buy it on their own. They'd probably be at 60 to 70
If
bucks a
not more.
month, if not
Yeah,
more.
like
Right?
the email drip website that I use. I want to say it's like $20 a month, maybe 16 or something.
And that's just to send email,
Yeah, just to send
right?
email. Yeah.
So I think that that you really there's 5 or 6 core in real estate that I think you really really need to have. Good CRM. I think you need to have Canva, especially now with the AI integration. And I do think you're going to
Canva's
need
good. Canva's
Canva's
easy to use.
Canva's
And
good.
like a lot of their stuff, it's like
Well, if
you see something you like and you can just
steal all the
it's
time.
I don't think it's
You
stealing.
it's not because you're buying licensing because you're
Yeah.
paying for it,
Whereas
right?
like I go, I like that, but I could not have created that,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, it takes it allows the people that are, the numerical side,
Sure.
the empirical people to be creative,
Yeah.
right? And make it look
Yeah,
good. Like
yeah.
I used to do all my meeting notes in Keynote because Keynote was easy for me and I could go to Microsoft and download the templates from Microsoft and then use
Got
them.
you.
I don't even do that anymore.
All through Canva,
Meeting
yeah.
notes, Canva,
Yeah.
done. And then it's all in one place. I don't have to think about it. But now they got video integration into it.
Hmm.
Like our introductions done in Canva on the podcast. That's all
Yeah.
Canva,
Gushing over that.
right? Easy peasy. It literally took me less time than us to record the session. So you have that tool. So you've got a good CRM, you've got Canva. You should have an AI portion now
Or
of
something you can use to plug
some
in for ideas or
yeah,
whatnot.
a good video editor. So whether you're using
Ah.
CapCut or whatever the case may
Yeah, yeah,
be,
yeah.
you really want to have one of those because if you're going to do anything of any real quality,
I've I got to get on that.
it's not. It's one of those things. I use iMovie, but the files are big on iMovie. It doesn't
Well, but you're only
compress
using
well.
iMovie for something like this,
Yes, big project
right?
stuff.
But
But
whereas
but again, CapCut's expensive. It's not it's not a cheap app
I think there's a
to
free.
there's a free version, but it's like Canva. Free version's
God,
good. Canva Pro
yeah,
is
it's
great,
there's
right?
layers to it or levels
Yeah,
to it.
100%. I think that's good, and I do believe that you really, really should have a great, great photo editing product.
Okay, because that's you. You're thinking you guys are taking your own listing photos, or
No, we don't take our own listing photos, but there's certain circumstances when you're going and doing pre-shoot stuff, right? Like
oh,
we
like
don't
a
shoot our
coming
own
soon
photos.
type
Like a
of
coming soon
got
stuff,
you.
that stuff needs to be top notch,
Yeah, I
right?
guess
Like
that's
that
easier
should
though
be
with
really
like
good.
phone cameras are pretty darn good these days.
Yeah, but you know what? If you give me a raw picture
Huh?
from a good camera versus an iPhone, it's just night and day. I can show you example after example that when you put an
Even when you
iPhone
put them
and
on a social media, you think?
oh yeah, 100%.
Mm,
It doesn't. I don't find phone cameras have depth when you're
I know what
taking
you're
a
saying.
picture. A real DSLR, whichever it is, I always get it backwards. They have depth to their pictures. They feel like, oh yeah, that was taken by a
Right.
photographer. Whereas a
Depth. That's
phone,
a good way to put
click, I
it.
can go,
Yeah, it
right?
does look
So
flat.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think those are the key. But to me, when it comes to business, CRM is the most important, and Canva. They're the two most important things.
Yeah, the whole CRM thing, we've on our side, I say me.
We know who's not using one.
She will have stuff implemented this year.
Yeah,
Um,
you got lots of
we
time.
got
You
time.
only got 8 months to do it.
Yeah. It's
Better you
okay.
than me.
We're getting her there slowly.
Yep.
Yeah, I am totally guilty of wanting the big shiny ones. Um, I think for us, we've got to be cognizant of what's too much fluff in there. And I know I've been like, okay, I'm stripping it down. All I need to track, I can track in this spreadsheet.
Yep.
For this is my
You're
rationale right
you're
now.
you're new still. Yeah, that'll change though.
Maybe. I think there are a few things that I'm starting to use. So a piece of tech that I've started to use is Zapier.
It's that one. Don't get me to spend more money.
So it's pretty cool. But it's a lot of like, if you do one thing, it can then do 10 things for you.
Okay.
So I can open up a Google form,
Okay.
call it I think they're called Google Forms.
Yep.
And I can put in a new client, enter their name, phone number, email. The Zaps will save it to my contacts, input the birthday into my calendar. It'll do this, it'll do that. It'll make a new folder in my Google Drive for them.
Is it Google based or is
No,
it cloud
it's
based?
cloud based.
So what do you do? Do you have to provide all your
Yes.
logins
So you
so
get
you
Zapier
crop it
connected
over?
to
Yeah,
whatever you're using, whether it's
your
your Google
calendar,
contact. Like for me, again, I speak
whatever.
in Google
Yeah,
Contacts, but
yeah.
you connect that, and then you get it. You've got it. So there's a little bit of tweaking here and playing with it because you got to get it to if it's updating spreadsheets, inputting a name or whatever.
Right.
But I know on the front end for us, it's like you have that first call with a client and you're like, oh, I got to set up a client folder. I want these and these and these documents copied, like a discovery call, a budget template. I want subfolders for this, 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 and this. Clients inputted through a form, they're set up. They're saved to my
Okay.
contacts, birthdays in as an event, whole lot of little things.
Yeah. So if it's updating the spreadsheet, that would be
That is where I'm
beneficial.
at right now to get it to, and I'm debating if I want it to or not. But anyway,
Oh, yes. Okay.
that's something that I'm using to kind of make life a little easier. But like I said, I stripped the CRM down and said we're running off of a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I went off the advice of a couple mega brokers who ran their business off of spreadsheets or still do. And then I said, okay, like obviously I have Instagram. I'll run that and I'll run my email drip through this. This like it's called Campaign Monitor. Easy to use. Lets me do a drip based on stages, events, yada yada yada, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's fairly inexpensive. And I was like, okay, let's test it like this for at least the year.
Yeah.
Because I was finding we have our submission platform that we use for mortgages.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Okay, it has a lot of that stuff, quote unquote, built in,
Yep.
but it also doesn't do a very good job.
It also is proprietary and owned by the brokerage. So if you ever leave the brokerage,
Yes.
guess what? You battle that. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
The one thing that mine allows is the agents to
Yeah,
extrapolate all that
and I think
information.
that's huge. But I just noticed that one of the features in it was we'll do your reporting, meaning like, hey, um, you got a renewal coming up. It's not great at it. I still have
Oh,
to
really?
manually pull the report.
Okay.
And I was like, you're not good at this.
You're talking the brokerage
The
one.
brokerage one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, this doesn't do what I need it to do. At the rate I want it, like it's not easy. I was like,
Yeah.
I can do this my way and it'll actually work. I'll get it to do what I want it to do.
But the key is doing it,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And I think this is, we've talked about this before where systems are huge
yeah,
in what we do because repetition is
yeah.
huge. So we do a lot of things like so my listing presentation,
Mhm.
okay, is all in Canva and numbers. So I'm just dropping numbers in now, right? My marketing presentation is change the address on the front page, change the picture on the front page, and change the date. And it's the same document that I can tweak over
Yeah.
and over
It's
and over again.
repeatable, it's
It's
consistent, it's
repeatable, it's
easy. Yeah.
scalable, right? So I think, where a lot of people that get into our type of business really struggle is systems because they don't set them up at the beginning.
Yeah, and I think you actually hit a really cool point, which was the scalability. And that's also in the back of my mind. I know, again, when I'm kind of setting our stuff up, which if I set it up easy enough, others
She'll use
will
it.
use it.
It's okay. We can call her out. She'll love
She
it.
will. But in the back of my mind, I know there's other pieces coming into this eventually.
At some
I think
point.
at some point,
Yeah.
and I go, I need this to be able to be plug and play.
Yeah. And when we picked our platform, that was what it
Yeah.
was. When I hire somebody, I tell them, give me a list of your people. Give me a column first name, column last name, give me a
Right. You did
cell
that the other
phone,
week.
give me an email address, and I'm going to put them in. And within 30 seconds, I have them, 60, 70, 80 people in their CRM. I could get into way more detail, but I want them to go through the exercise of creating I create the contacts. I want them to go through the exercise of, completing the profile in the contacts.
Gotcha.
But I get them in there so that they can start at A and go,
And time
okay,
in it.
spend
Yeah.
time in the ecosystem, like you like to call it.
Yeah.
But for me, it all comes down to habits
Yeah.
Like you've gotta. It doesn't matter what the tech is. It doesn't matter if it's the greatest tech in the world. ChatGPT is fantastic,
So
right?
I've got
It's
every
fantastic.
Sunday a task reminder pops up,
Yep.
update Calendly.
Okay.
That's another piece I use.
Calendly.
Yeah. I
Okay.
set my schedule
Yep.
and I go
In Calendly.
Calendly
Okay.
for times that I'm available to talk to people.
Okay.
So I go, okay, I got this going on for the next, and I try to look at the next 2, 3 weeks. And every week, without fail, Sunday night, the reminder pops up because things change.
Yeah.
But it really, really avoids back and forth with people. Yes. Happened this week. Client emailed me and was like, I had it in my calendar to message you next week about setting up a time, but I've actually got your calendar link. I see you're busy Friday, so I've just booked in. It was yesterday in the morning. And I was like, okay, done.
Couldn't do that in my world.
I was like, it's done. Why not?
Just because things change so quickly, where you guys are kind of you're at the whim of sometimes lenders,
Yeah.
sometimes institutions, sometimes holidays. We don't get that, right? I can get like I had an agent in my office this morning. We were going through an offer, and we were talking about how to write an offer in this specific situation for her. And what happens? The client messages her while we're going through the terms and how to write the offer. Hey, we want to see this house. But you were ready to offer. Yeah, but we think we want this one. So that's how fast,
Yeah.
right? And how mindsets can change. You guys get them once they're typically locked in, right? The emotional phase of the purchase is out of the way. The frustration portion of it
It's
may
just
be
coming. Yeah.
right? But ultimately, the decision's been made by the time you get there. Now you're just deciding on which product fits them best.
Yeah, but that's an interesting thing. You don't think you can run
No.
like that. See, but you've talked about time blocking your day, and
I time block my day.
so
100%.
is there no window that is off limits?
Yeah, family time.
Right. So
So I just block it, and I don't answer the phone.
do you set any sort of like follow-up text, an acknowledgement or anything?
No, I call him back when that block's over. Unless I know, like, so I heard a great thing this week, and one of the things that Broker Record did, and I think I'm gonna implement it with the team, is basically the guys came up from New Jersey to talk to us on Tuesday, and he said, we were talking about time blocking and time management, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, what I tell my agents is, if there's a problem, text me 911. If you need me, no matter where I am or what's going on, text me 911. I will stop what I'm doing
It's
within
that
reason
urgent.
if it's that
Yeah.
urgent, but don't abuse it. Right?
Same as regular 911.
See, exactly. Yeah. But for me, that was an eye-opening thought, because at the end of the day, a lot of times I take phone calls and they can wait 10
Oh,
minutes.
buddy, I have been guilty.
Right.
Somebody messaged me 2 nights ago and said, "Hey, man, can you call me when you have a second?" And the way the tone came off, I was like,
Catastrophic.
"Yeah, let me give you a ring right now." I called, and in my house, I'd say probably from 6 to 7:30, it's chaos.
Yep.
That's like kids have finished eating, they're bathing, they're getting ready for bed. And I took the phone call in our lower living room, and I can hear things like exploding upstairs. Like it's chaos.
Yeah.
We're talking.
And your wife's plotting your
Oh
death.
yeah, and he's talking, but it's not like it's nothing urgent. We're just doing a
Yeah.
little bit of whatever. And I was like, "Hey man, like things are not going good. Like, can I call you back?" And I was like, "Shoot,
Why'd
why'd I
I take
take
it?
it?"
Yeah. And I think that's, one of the things for me was I had to learn that, not every call is life or death.
Yeah.
Right. And there's times where agents will call, and I'm in the middle of something, and you kind of have to make the decision. What's more important? What is your priority at that moment?
Yeah.
And too many times as newbies starting out in the business, you don't prioritize.
No, you pick up everything.
Yeah. 100%.
I think that's a pretty good tech run.
I think that's a good tech run.
I think we could keep going on it.
I think you could do another session in a month on this and still.
Yeah, but I like that you seem to run your stuff pretty streamlined.
Yeah, I don't. I'm chaos at the best of times, and tech is the one thing that really helps keep me somewhat organized. You miss a few appointments with
Sure.
clients, and you will find
Yeah.
that your calendar, those kind of
I
things become
I
uber
think you hit
important.
it. That like the calendar one. I use my Google Calendar for my appointments and tasks now. I don't use a third party app anymore.
Yep.
I just
Oh, I put it in here the second I
yes,
open my phone, the second I open my laptop, the second I open my
it's all
computer
there. Yeah.
upstairs. It's all there,
So
and
the
that's
lesson
huge.
is whatever you're gonna use.
Use it. Yeah. Don't buy stuff that you're not going to
All right.
use.
I like it.
All right. All right. Until next time.
See you
Peace.
later.